We've talked about the importance of winning this race. You've been fortunate enough to do so, and give yourselves time to prep for that Phoenix week. What are those benefits between now and, or I guess between Sunday night and championship weekend, if you do win this race?
Yeah, it really is one of the most important races of the year because whoever wins this race, if they're in the top 8, they have a tremendous advantage going in. Really because you're focused 100% on that. You go for a couple weeks, to Miami and Martinsville, and you're like, whatever. Because you're just thinking 100% about Phoenix. So there is an advantage there. That's all you're looking at. You're thinking about the car more there. The guys are already tuning on that car, and it just gives that laser focus into that weekend. Not that you can't win if you don't win this race. It just gives you an advantage.
Is there anything you can learn here that you can take to Olmsted to save the transfer with them being intermediate tracks?
Yeah, there is some for sure. The tracks are fairly similar. Bumps are a little bit worse here, but Kansas here fairly similar. The difference of Miami is you have the wall that you run a little bit more than you do here, and the tire fall off's a little bit more significant there, but the loads are fairly similar.
The strength of this round of there's you pointed that it's a super strong group of drivers, right? How do you assess and evaluate what your strengths are compared to those 7 and maximizing what your guys' best capabilities are?
Yeah, I don't really go back and look at what their strengths are. Like, we got to just focus on ourselves, right? And execution 9 times out of 10 is usually our strength as a race team, especially throughout the playoffs. So I feel confident in the position that we're in, right? When we got this far, and we can just go for it. But if we can win, great. We've been there before. If not, I feel confident we can point our way in as well. We had, after Kansas, I felt like our mile-and-a-half stuff was way closer than it has been. So fairly optimistic about the next 2 weeks.
What do you believe the biggest challenge is right now for you and your team that you guys are facing?
I would say probably more than anything, just a little bit of speed is what we need. We haven't been the dominant race car in a long time. Going out there and leading a bunch of laps. And there's really many cars very often that can. I know Larson did last weekend, but I think just raw racetrack speed is probably what we need. And like I said, we've made some good steps in the right direction there, and hopefully we're going to win today.
It's good to happen to anybody in any round. What happened to you in the round of 8, kicking off in Las Vegas, one of your best tracks? So was this perfect timing for you, basically?
Yeah, I think everybody looked at the first 2 rounds. Was like, man, there's a lot of wild cards in there. And how do we get through it? And now, this is the first round where there's not really a wild card race, right? A lot of things can happen in NASCAR, right? There's so many different variables, but you don't have a super speedway, you don't have a road course, you don't have what we thought Bristol might have been, right? All these things, like, you're pretty common racetracks, which is the right time for that.
Joey, can you afford to have a bad race in the round of 8 or no?
If you win.
But if you don't win,
no, you can't.
What would you consider a bad day? Anything outside top 20?
I would say scoring anything less than 34 points probably is not good enough.
Do you have an Achilles heel in this round, or you feel like that these tracks suit your style?
Could be okay.
Good.
Joey,
One of them all. So.
Joey, are you aware of I'm assuming you're aware of the even year streak that you've got going on right now? With what happened last weekend, are you a little more superstitious that maybe there is something going on there?
No, I don't think that way. It's pretty ironic though. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope it's right. I don't know. I don't believe in that stuff, but hey.
What was the kids' reaction?
Cool.
What was the kids' reaction when you told me that?
They were really confused. They don't really know how it worked. I say they. My oldest Hudson's really the only one that understands racing a little bit, at least, and he just. I'm like, Dad's back in. And he's like, what do you mean you're back in? And that's what he said to me. I'm like, I don't know. I explained how it happened. He's like, oh. And then he just went on to playing this as Legos, so he didn't really care that much.
to that point, how much of a momentum boost is it for you to, kind of get this energized momentum right back being in the playoffs and going right into a really good round for you guys here?
Yeah, I mean, for us it didn't change much because we were still in on the owner's point, so our focus was still to win a championship. It's just the driver piece wasn't there, and now we have both that we can go for. So that part's good, but it doesn't really change much of what we were going to do anyways.
Reaching the round of 8